Hey, where did you put my tie? I was in a rush this morning and couldn't find it.
Your tie? I'm pretty sure I hung it up in the closet, in the same spot as always.
Don't lie to me. I looked for it. I couldn't find it, so it's your fault.
Jacob, are you sure you looked properly before blaming me? It should be right there.
What? You think I didn't even try to look? It's your lousy organization that made me late. It's your job to handle everything in the house perfectly. What's the point of a stay-at-home wife if you can't even do that?
I spend all day doing housework too, you know. Still, sometimes I can't meet every one of your demands, Jacob.
Stop making excuses. Do you even understand how hard my job is? I'm not like you, just sitting around doing nothing all day.
I'm not just sitting around doing nothing at home. I handle the cleaning, laundry, shopping, everything, so that you can be comfortable when you come home.
Comfortable? You ruined my morning and you're talking about comfort? I ended up getting yelled at by my boss because I didn't have a tie. You're the one who should be apologizing.
It's not my fault you got yelled at by your boss. If you had managed your time better.
Are you seriously blaming me? A stay-at-home wife like you has no right to criticize me.
You don't have to talk to me like that. If we could just support each other more.
Yeah. Here we go again. I'm not so pathetic that I need your support.
Even so, we're married, so we both need to make an effort.
Effort? I work every day. What effort are you making sitting at home doing whatever you want?
I'm not doing whatever I want. I take care of everything in the house. If you just show some appreciation, that would be enough for me.
Appreciation? Why should I have to appreciate you? It's only natural for you to take care of the house. What? Do you want praise or something? Being a stay-at-home wife is a job anyone can do.
If that's what you think, why don't you try doing it, Jacob? You'd understand how hard it really is.
I don't have time for that. I've got an important job out there making money.
And I'm working just as hard to support you in that important job.
Enough of this. From now on, make sure you manage all my stuff perfectly. If I mess up, it's your fault. Oh, and have dinner ready before I get home. I want beef tonight, so don't mess it up.
You didn't tell me you wanted beef. You didn't say anything yesterday either.
Do I have to spell it out for you? Knowing my preferences is part of your job as a stay-at-home wife. Hey, I told you what time I'd be home today, didn't I? Why can't you even manage to make dinner?
What?
You're completely useless, you know that? Seriously, how can a stay-at-home wife not even handle basic household tasks?
Jacob, I told you there's food in the fridge. And besides, I'm really not feeling well today.
Making dinner includes serving it and cleaning up afterward, you know? I've never heard of a stay-at-home wife who can't do that. You expect me to clean up everything after coming home exhausted? How inconsiderate can you be? Do you even understand how hard I work every day? Can't you show a little bit of appreciation? Don't you think that's the least you could do?
I really don't feel well today. And I told you this morning. I talked to you and even sent a message on WhatsApp. I thought you'd care about how sick I was feeling, but I guess that was pointless.
Huh? Really? I didn't read it. And anyway, what does a WhatsApp message like that have to do with me? You just got sick, right? It's not like there's anything I can do about it. Not my problem. A stay-at-home wife's job includes managing her own health, right? Stop complaining and just do your job.
So it's not that you didn't hear me. It's that you're choosing not to listen, isn't it? You ignore anything you don't want to hear and pretend you didn't notice. Where's the version of you who promised to make me happy when I was carrying Lucy?
What?
You've been ignoring me since the day after our wedding. No matter what I say, you just brush it off. Even the important stuff. You just send me a one-sided WhatsApp message and call it done. Is this really how a marriage is supposed to work? It's completely wrong.
Of course it's fine. I don't respond because I don't need to listen. What you talk about isn't important enough to waste my time on.
Not important? How can you decide that on your own? We're a married couple, aren't we? Without communication, nothing will ever get resolved.
A stay-at-home wife only ever brings up trivial stuff. It's always about housework or not having enough for the household budget, isn't it? That's your job to deal with. So it's got nothing to do with me. You keep complaining, but haven't things worked out fine so far? What exactly are you unhappy about?
Don't say everything's been fine. I've been struggling and working hard to keep things looking okay on the surface. But in reality, it's been full of problems. I've been putting up with it all this time.
Raising the kids is your responsibility too. Since I'm the one earning money, you're supposed to take care of the house properly. That's what division of roles means. I don't have time to waste on pointless complaints. After all, I'm an elite employee at a major corporation, you know. I'm not sitting around at home enjoying myself like you are. You should try to understand how much responsibility I'm carrying.
You're the one who told me to become a stay-at-home wife, and there are so many things a married couple should be discussing.
Oh, more excuses. Does saying stuff like that make you happy? You're so lame. I'm done. I'll eat outside. And don't think I'll forgive you if this happens again tomorrow.
Wait a second. How are you feeling? I've been worried about you all day. I hope I'm not the reason you're feeling like you need to work extra hard, you know? If that's the case, don't hesitate to tell me, okay? Lucy, thank you so much for worrying about me. You've grown into such a kind child. It makes me so happy. I'm feeling a little better than I did this morning, but it's still hard to move around. I'm really sorry for making you put up with so much. No, not at all. I'm not putting up with anything. You told me not to come into your room so I wouldn't catch your cold, and I promised I wouldn't. I'm totally fine with that. I'm happier knowing you'll get better soon. Please, don't push yourself. Thanks, Lucy. Hearing that makes me feel a little stronger. Hey, by the way, did your dad say anything? Did he talk to you after he got home? Dad? He didn't say anything to me. But I did see him leave with a really angry look on his face, so he didn't say a word to me. I see. It's the same as always, isn't it? Even when you're sick in bed, he doesn't help with anything and just goes out. I really don't like him. Lucy, you shouldn't say that. But I'm really sorry. Your dad always acts like that. Still, he works hard for us so we can have a good life. I still don't like him. He's nothing like my friends' dads. I see. You're right. I'm really sorry. It's okay because I love you, Mom. Oh, a letter came for you today. I'll give it to you tomorrow. All right.
Hey, this is pretty unusual for you. Is it going to rain or something?
Huh? What do you mean?
I mean, it's unusual for you to be so thoughtful. Looks like you actually made dinner tonight. But I'm not really in the mood for fish. Why can't you ever get it right?
You've got to tell me for me to understand.
A busy man like me needs beef, not fish. It's just common sense. Serving something light like fish when I come home tired? That's thoughtless on another level. This is why stay-at-home wives are, well, Jesus, You're worse than a housekeeper. At least a housekeeper listens to what I want. Unlike you, who has no idea how hard I work.
Housekeeper? How can you say that? Jacob, do you even realize how terrible what you just said is? If you're confident you can earn enough to hire a housekeeper, maybe that's an option. But I've had enough. We didn't get married to keep hurting each other like this. So let's sit down and talk properly, calmly, about what we can do to make things better.
Talk? For what? I don't have time to listen to your nonsense. And do you even realize how powerless you are in society?
Yeah, I'm a stay-at-home wife, and I understand it wouldn't be easy for me to find another job. I also know society still lacks understanding towards single mothers. And I've endured it all thinking I should for Lucy's sake. But then, I realized something. Lucy has been the one trying to keep the peace between us. Making my child feel like that and thinking I just had to endure it alone was a mistake. And it's taken me this long to see that.
You're so noisy and annoying. If the kid is complaining, it's because you haven't raised her properly. Shutting her up is your job too. That's what's expected of a stay-at-home wife. You blow every little thing way out of proportion. This is why stay-at-home wives are useless. You can't do anything, but you're always the first to complain.
Do you seriously believe that stay-at-home wives shouldn't say anything? Have you ever heard for even a second about everything I've done for you and our family?
And that's exactly what's annoying about you. I'm tired, so don't talk to me again. All it does is stress me out. If you've got a problem, then let's get a divorce. Not like anyone else would want to support you, and you won't be able to raise Lucy on your own anyway. If you don't like it, just shut up and stick to doing the housework.
Excuse me?
If Lucy ends up not getting a proper education, that's entirely your fault. Got it? It has nothing to do with me, and don't worry. I won't be paying any child support. Child support is just charity anyway. There's no way I'd waste my money on something like that. And honestly, there's not even a shred of pity left in me for you.
Do you really mean that? You're throwing away everything about our relationship and saying this is how you truly feel?
Of course. I've even filled out a divorce paper for you, just to be considerate. Don't forget, I'm in the position to abandon you two anytime I want.
I see. I always thought you were cold toward Lucy, but I didn't expect it to go this far. Fine, I won't speak to you again.
Good. That's how it should be. Now keep cleaning, doing laundry, cooking, and raising Lucy like you're supposed to. Huh? No reply? Come on, at least respond. You're acting so immature. Hey, why isn't dinner ready? And the laundry's still sitting there. What the hell is going on? Are you the kind of person who just doesn't understand what people are saying? And where are you anyway? Wait, Lucy's not here either. Oh, don't tell me you're trying to run away from home. What a ridiculous thing to do. I'll humor you and see how long you can manage, running away with an elementary school kid. Hey, all your stuff is gone. What's going on? You emptied the house without even saying a word. Are you kidding me? Lucy's room is completely empty too. Don't tell me you actually moved out. And without saying anything to me? Cut it out with the bad jokes. I'm exhausted from work today. And this is what I come home to? Are you serious? Hey, answer me. You're planning to stay silent, huh? What the hell are you thinking? Explain it to me.
It's been a while. I just found out you've been through a lot lately. Apparently, I heard that you were in some kind of accident. How unfortunate. Your mom reached out to me, you know.
What?
She thought you and I were still living together. I was shocked. Anyone would realize we haven't lived together in 8 years. How on earth did you convince her otherwise? I divorced you 8 years ago and started a new life with Lucy. I never imagined you'd tell such a massive lie to your parents.
Willow, you finally unblocked me. It took you long enough. You're really awful, you know that? 8 years without a word. What kind of person does that? Anyway, yeah, I was in an accident. I'm completely broken both physically and emotionally. On top of that, Mom and Dad live far away, and there's no one else I can turn to for help. That's why I'm reaching out to you now. Don't you think it's time to stop being stubborn and come back to me? Deep down, you know you want to, right?
I honestly don't understand what you're saying. I didn't unblock you to help you. I have no obligation to do that now. What I want to say is, stop lying to your parents. How did you even manage to keep up the lie for 8 years? Normally, people would notice something was off, wouldn't they?
I just told them it was hard for us to meet for various reasons. Besides, I never accepted the divorce. I didn't think you'd actually use that divorce paper I filled out as a joke. You take everything so seriously. And then, no matter how many times I called, you never answered. In the end, you even blocked me. You owe me an apology for that. I was really hurt, you know.
Apologize? Me? To you?
Of course. I was suddenly left alone and divorced for no reason. So come and apologize in person. And while you're at it, make up for 8 years of work.
Unbelievable. I have no reason to go that far for someone who's no longer my family. I left because you ignored me constantly. And when you told me never to speak to you again, I left without saying a word.
What kind of childish logic is that? This is ridiculous.
It might seem ridiculous to you, but it was important to me. You were the one who shut me down with a single word. Annoying.
You're so picky about every little thing. I've forgotten all that old nonsense. It's absurd. Fine, I'll let the past go. I'm generous like that. But come on. You must feel guilty about ignoring an injured person. I'll let you help me out, so get over here.
Why don't you ask your girlfriend to help instead?
What? What are you talking about?
You have a girlfriend, don't you? Ask her for help. I heard it through some work connections. They said after your divorce, you've been bouncing from one woman to the next. You show off your dating life with different women, just like you would with your favorite accessories, treating them like trophies. Everyone was claiming that working with you just wasn't an option.
That's nonsense. Where did you even hear that?
I work at the law firm that serves as your company's legal counsel. I used to be a hotel employee. That's how I got to know one of the lawyers there. When I thought about looking for a job after raising Lucy, they sent me a letter about a job opening for an office clerk.
Wait, are you telling me you started working there after leaving home?
That's right, so I could support myself after the divorce. Unlike someone who said they didn't want to pay child support.
You ended up demanding it anyway, filing lawsuits and all.
That's because you have a legal obligation to pay child support. Oh, but you've been behind on payments for the past few years, haven't you? Make sure you pay up. Lucy's almost 20 now, so there's not much time left.
Are you kidding me? I told you I'm injured. What kind of person treats someone who's already mentally and physically struggling like this? Do you even have a heart?
That's why I said to ask your girlfriend for help. I'm not your problem anymore. I have no intention of meeting you again, so forget about it.
You're impossible. Fine. I won't rely on you. I've got other connections, you know? Just because you've got a decent job, you're feeling smug.
Whatever. Doesn't bother me one bit.
Lucy, do you recognize me? Of course you do, right? I mean, I'm your dad after all. How've you been?
I don't know who you are, but I'm not interested in strange solicitations.
Seriously? Are you kidding around like I do? It's me, your dad.
When your mom ignored me, I figured you'd eventually contact me, so I didn't block you on purpose. And here we are. This is the first time you've reached out in 8 years, Jacob.
Stop being so formal. 8 years ago, no matter how many times I contacted you, you never replied. It made me really lonely, you know. I'm glad you finally responded.
I muted you and left it alone. If you sent something weird, I wanted to have it as evidence. Also, if you hired a detective or showed up unannounced, it would be a problem.
I wouldn't stoop to something so petty. I'm your dad. You don't have to follow your mom's lead. You can come see me. You're turning 20 this year, right? How about going out for a drink together? You must have inherited my good looks. I can only imagine how stunning you've become as a woman.
Comments like that are considered harassment these days.
What? What are you even talking about? I didn't say anything weird. Where are you living now? You want to see me too, don't you?
No, I'm about to have a new dad, so I don't need you, Jacob.
What? A new dad?
Yeah, my mom is planning to remarry once I graduate from my technical college. Well, his name won't be on our family register, but he told me he thinks of me like his own daughter. That's more than enough for me, so I have no desire to meet you, Jacob.
Are you kidding me? She really abandoned me? That asshole?
Since she's divorced, she can date anyone she likes, right? I mean, I was surprised too when she said she met her soulmate last year. But she told me she would wait until I graduated to avoid disrupting my life. She's always put me first, and that's what makes her amazing. She's nothing like you. People often say I'm just like my mom, and I'm proud of that. That's why I have no intention of meeting you. And I won't be helping you, so don't come to me for anything.
Don't mess with me. You and your mom both look down on me like I'm nothing. I worked hard to support you until you both left. You ungrateful brat. You should be ashamed.
It's true you supported us financially until I was 7. But it's also true that you ignored my mom, treated her like a servant, and made her life miserable. I saw all of it. Just because I was a kid doesn't mean I didn't understand. You forced her to become a stay-at-home mom, cutting her off from others. Did you ever think about how lonely and isolated she felt, with no one to turn to? You didn't, and that's why you were abandoned, back then and now.
How dare you talk to your parent like that? You really inherited your mom's terrible personality. But you and I are connected by blood. That's an unchangeable fact, isn't it? So you have a duty to support me. Taking care of me is your responsibility. I'm injured and hospitalized and can't work. That's why you need to work for me.
It's true there's a legal obligation to support parents. But I'm getting married after I graduate, and I'm planning to have kids. Also, considering how you treated us before we left, and the fact that we spent most of our time living apart, I'm not sure you're in a position to demand that kind of support.
What did you just say?
Under the law, the obligation to support parents is weaker than the obligation between spouses or from parents to children. So I refuse. You're at the very bottom of my priority list. To me, my mom is my only parent. Soon, there will be 2, and I have a family of my own to build, including my future children. There's absolutely no room for you.
Wait, are you abandoning me?
No one's been paying attention to you in the first place, but thank you for reaching out. It helped me see exactly the kind of person you are, and it reassured me that I don't need to feel guilty. Well, excuse me now.
Wait, Lucy, I love you. Come on, I'm sorry. Let's start over. Hey, Answer me, will you? Willow, what's the meaning of this? You know how I feel, don't you? I love you. When will you forgive me? It's cruel that you can't understand how I feel.
What's with the sudden change of heart?
I finally realized how foolish I've been. I'm truly sorry for all the pain I caused you and Lucy.
I never thought I'd get an apology after 8 years. But I'm sorry. I'm not generous enough to accept such a shallow apology.
I really mean it. If you don't believe me, I'll prove it. Just meet with me. I'm begging you. I'll do anything. I just want us to be a family again.
That's not going to happen. I don't want to see you.
Don't say that. We were married, weren't we?
You know what? Let me guess why you're so desperate to meet me. You were bad at your job, got fired, and your girlfriend left you. Now your company is suing you for damages and you're broke. You're just looking for help, right? Am I wrong?
How do you even know that?
Like I told you before, I work at the law firm that serves as your company's legal counsel. They've been very kind to me. And when I mentioned you were a former family member, they told me everything. Jacob, you've been making mistakes at work for a long time, haven't you? Then, while driving a company car under stress, you crashed into a client's building, causing a major incident. The only silver lining was that you were the only one injured.
It was just a little mistake. I didn't do it on purpose.
Whether it was intentional or not doesn't matter. You got fired as a result. When I heard about it, I thought, well, things like that happen, but with your usual attitude at work, it's not surprising. You couldn't stand being outperformed by a capable colleague, so instead of improving yourself, you spent all your energy dragging them down.
That's not what I meant to do.
Which is why you took your frustration out on me. I was a stay-at-home mom, isolated with a young daughter, and I couldn't fight back. My parents passed away a long time ago, and I had no one else to turn to, so I guess I was convenient for you. I suspected it before, but hearing the reasons laid out still shocked me. I couldn't believe I married someone so foolish.
That guy was always grinning and sucking up to the boss. And me? No matter how hard I worked, I never got any recognition. Why is it that only I have to go through this crap? With all that was going on, how was I supposed to manage taking care of you? You didn't support me properly, and that's why I couldn't succeed.
What nonsense are you spouting? I was hoping to hear something more sensible. You couldn't succeed because of me? Me who had nothing to do with your job? Who was the one who didn't have to do any housework or childcare? Jacob, you were in a perfect position to focus solely on your work. If you still couldn't succeed, the problem lies with you. Stop blaming others and playing the victim. No one's going to lend a hand to someone like that.
But I did put in effort. Even the women I dated said they liked me.
They probably liked the title of working for a big company and the money that came with it. People who treat others poorly will eventually be treated the same way. And for the record, I'm already perfectly happy without you. Actually, I've been happy for a while now, so don't ever talk to me again. Ever.
Don't you think that's unfair to me?
Not at all. You brought this on yourself, and honestly, I'm just sick of it. Good luck with your life, far away from Lucy and me.
Willow, wait. I really love you. I mean it.
Huh? That's not my problem.
How many times do I have to say it? Don't you believe me?
Oh, sorry. I wasn't paying attention. Lucy, are you okay? You didn't have a bad experience, did you? Did you block him like I told you? Of course. Just seeing his messages is unpleasant. Good. We already have enough evidence, so there's no need to review anything or listen to what he says anymore. Reading or seeing anything from him only drains you emotionally. Ignoring him is the most effective way to handle it. Trying to argue back doesn't work, and it only ends up hurting us. I think ignoring someone can also be a way to protect yourself by keeping your distance. People often say the opposite of love is indifference, but ignoring someone to hurt them isn't the same. That kind of ignoring is just an attack, and it makes both sides miserable. But in his case, I think it's gone beyond that. Both you and I feel like we just don't want to have anything to do with him anymore, so the only answer is to completely ignore him. That's the best response for someone like him. You're right. Being completely ignored, feeling in your heart that you're truly invisible, can hurt much more deeply than being directly confronted. I felt that way back then too. I kept believing I was worthless, that no one needed me, and there were so many times I thought I would break. But having you by my side saved me. Thank you, Lucy. Your kindness gave me so much strength. I'm sorry for always making you worry. That's not true at all. I love you, Mom. So staying by your side just felt natural to me. Seeing you work so hard made me want to help you in any way I could. And now, you're going to be even happier, right? Because you found someone who will truly cherish you like your new partner. I've been thinking about this a lot. What matters isn't who says something, but who shows it through their actions. Actions, more than words, are what sustain us through life. And you've shown me that over and over. That's why I want to become someone who can protect the people I care about, just like you. Lucy, hearing you say that almost makes me want to cry. But if you have that in your heart, I'm sure you'll build a wonderful life for yourself. Yeah. So, Mom, make sure you take care of yourself too, okay? I'll always be on your side. Thank you. You've grown into such an incredible person, and I'm so proud of you. Let's keep building a beautiful future together. 8 years after the divorce, Jacob's life spiraled completely out of control. After breaking his leg in an accident and being hospitalized, he was labeled a troublemaker at work. With no one willing to help him, he was ultimately fired. Later, he struggled to pay his living expenses and reportedly tried to borrow money from acquaintances. But his credibility was non-existent. It seems no one was willing to lend him a hand. During this time, his parents returned to the U.S. from their overseas relocation. Angered beyond words, they likely berated him harshly. Normally, this would have led to them cutting ties completely. But instead, they took him back with them and put him to work on a ranch abroad. While ranch may sound nice, the reality is grueling labor from dawn to dusk. For someone like Jacob, full of pride and lacking perseverance, it's an environment he'll find impossible to endure. He deserves it. Meanwhile, I remarried and am now enjoying peaceful, happy days. My new husband is someone who listens to me attentively, a person I can turn to for advice, no matter how small the issue. At the same time she graduated, Lucy got married to her boyfriend of many years, and she's really enjoying her fresh start. We're expecting a new addition to the family soon, and as a family, we're looking forward to this new chapter, living peacefully and joyfully together.